She stood barefoot on the rickety auction block, dirt streaked across her cheeks and fury burning in her gaze. The town of Dry Creek Hollow hadn't seen a child put up for sale in nearly a year, but that spring, after the floods ruined the northern wheat fields and raiders tore through the freight trails, desperation had driven families to cruel measures. Farmers had come looking for field hands, widowers for someone to scrub pots and mend shirts, and men like Samuel Harlow, who had no intention of bidding, only came to shake their heads, spit into the dust, and mutter about how the world was turning rotten. But when Samuel saw the girl, he did curse, he did mutter, he did even move. He just stared. She was maybe 12, perhaps younger, thin as a fence rail, her tangled hair the color of scorched straw, her faded dress sagged on her shoulders like it belonged to someone else entirely. Her feet were caked black with dust, her small hands balled tight at her side, trembling slightly, but her chin never quivered. Her eyes never blinked. She looked at the gathered crowd like she despised every last one of them. The auctioneer, a balding man with whiskey breath, shifted impatiently. "Strong girl," he barked, thumping the post with his cane. "Knows how to work. Can milk, cook, sweep. Belonged to a mining family that never came back after the spring washout. Who'll start me at $5? The crowd was silent. Someone coughed near the back. Another man spat in the dirt. The girl didn't move. "4 then," the auctioneer growled. "3. Dawn. Waste my time." "I'll take her," Samuel said, his voice cutting clean through the mutters. Heads turned. Even the girl blinked just once. Samuel did meet a single eye. He stepped forward, calloused fingers pulling folded bills from the inside pocket of his dust-beaten coat. He handed them over without counting. The auctioneer's shoulders sagged with relief. "Name? Harlow? Take her then." "She hears." Samuel did speak again as the girl climbed down from the block. She followed slowly, no hesitation, but no gratitude either. She carried nothing, not even a bundle. "What's your name?" Samuel asked. The girl tilted her chin, eyes far too old for her face. "Mara." "That short for something?" She shrugged. "Not anymore." Samuel nodded once. "Come on then." He did offer a hand. She did expect one. They walked together through the town square, the crowd parting around them like dust on a dry wind. Samuel Harlow owned a modest strip of land 5 miles south of Dry Creek Hollow, about 30 stubborn acres where brittle oak trees clawed at the sky, and the soil gave up crops only after a fight. He one's rich, one's poor, either just worn down. His wife had died 3 winters earlier, his only son taken by fever the following year. All that remained of the Harlow family lived in the leaning farmhouse at the bend of Bitterbrush Creek. Samuel, his aging sister Clara May, and his mute nephew, Jonah. When Samuel brought Mara home, Clara May squinted at the barefoot child from the porch. "She's barely more than a babe," Clara May muttered. "She's stronger than she looks," Samuel answered. Clara May folded her arms. "You bought her like a mule. She needed someone. I had a place, that's all." Mara said nothing. She studied Clara May, studied the house with its slanted roof and weathered porch, and followed when she was shown to a side room near the kitchen. A straw mattress lay on the floor, a single wool blanket folded neatly on top. Nothing more. "It isn't much," Clara May said gruffly. Mara looked around once, then nodded. "It's more than I had yesterday." The next morning, before the rooster crowed, Mara was up splitting kindling with a hatchet nearly half her size. She did complain when her hands blistered and bled. She did ask for more bread when her stomach growled. She just worked quiet as smoke, sharp-eyed as a hawk. Clara May watched from the window. "She's been through something," she whispered. Samuel bent over his boots. Did answer. Jonah 15, solemn, silent since the wagon crash that had killed his parents' watch, too. He hadn't spoken in 2 years, but Mara did treat him like he was broken. She handed him firewood without hesitation. She nodded when he gestured. She never once asked why he stayed mute. And for the first time in years, Jonah smiled a small flicker, but it was there. Weeks passed. Mara spoke little, but worked like she had been born to it. She fixed a loose hinge on the barn door without being told. She taught herself to ride Samuel, stubborn mule. She could haul a milk pail on each hip and never spill a drop. But Samuel noticed something else. Each evening after supper, Mara sat outside on the porch steps watching the tree line, not afraid, Not restless, just watching. "What are you looking for?" he asked one night. She did turn her head. "I listen." "For what?" Her gaze sharpened. "The kind of things that took my family." Samuel did ask more. In her tone, there was no sorrow, only warning. The first sign came with a rider. Late afternoon. Mara was wringing out a damp shirt when she froze. A speck appeared at the edge of the northern ridge, a man on horseback, not riding fast, just watching. She squinted, counted a minute, then another. At last the rider turned and vanished into the tree line. That evening, as Clara May ladled stew and Samuel wiped dust from his boots, Mara spoke. "There was a man watching the house." Samuel frowned. Could have been anyone passing. Mara shook her head. He passing. He stopped, watched, then rode north. "You recognize him?" "No, but I recognized what he was doing." "What is that?" "Scouting." "Like before." Jonah's spoon clattered against his tin bowl. His wide eyes darted between them. Samuel's jaw tightened. He cleaned his shotgun that night, oiling the barrel slow. The following morning he rode into town and found Sheriff Alden Price, a heavy-set man with brows like thunderclouds. "Anyone riding north of my place?" Samuel asked. The sheriff scratched his chin. "Can't say I have, but word is Cole Maddox. His gang is back in the hills, hit a cattle drive west of here last week." "You think they come this far east?" "Depends." The sheriff muttered. "You got anything worth stealing?" Samuel did reply. He just rode home faster than he come. That evening, Mara set traps around the fence-line, strings tied low, pots tucked to clatter at a touch. Jonah helped her string spoons together like wind chimes, hanging them from the porch eaves. Every sound, every breeze now had a voice. Clara May scoffed. "Setting snares for ghosts?" Mara did answer. 2 nights later, the dogs barked, low, steady, warning. Mara was already awake. She tapped once on Samuel's door. That was enough. He emerged with rifle in hand. Jonah joined them, lantern low. They circled the barn in silence. Shadows moved within the fence line, too tall for animals, too quiet for drunks. 3 of them inside the fence, Mara whispered. "Get Clara May to the cellar," Samuel ordered. "I stay," she replied. "I didn't," he asked. "I didn't either." A scarred face appeared in the lantern-esque glow. Samuel shouted. Mara fired first. The man ducked, running. Chaos erupted, gunfire, horses screaming, Clara May shrieking from the house. When it ended, the intruders were gone. Not all dead, but scattered. At dawn, Sheriff Price rode out. He studied the tracks, jaw tight. "Maddox's men," he said. "Testing you. Lucky you were ready." Samuel glanced at Mara. "She warned us." The sheriff gave the girl a long look, then nodded. Smart eyes. "I'll send a deputy to ride the ridge." Mara said nothing, just tightened her grip on the rifle. 3 days passed without trouble. But Mara never relaxed. She checked the traps at dawn, reinforced doors, scanned the horizon like it owed her an answer. On the 4th evening a rider came. He did sneak. He did circle. He rode bold down the center trail, a tall man in a black leather coat, dusty hat shading his eyes. His posture was iron in spite. Mara stepped onto the porch barefoot, dress patched, hands loose at her sides. The man grinned. "Well, I'll be damned. Little Mara, thought you burned with the rest." Samuel stiffened. Mara did blink. "I should have